Hello, it's Matt Chapman, and I am here with a face that I love getting together with, someone who I've known for a long, long time, Joan Soong from Singapore, who's the Vice President of Executive Recruitment for Schneider Electric. Hi, Joan.
Hi, Matt. Thank you for having me. So nice to speak
Uh,
with you again.
what I respect about you so much is that you're one of these, I guess, pioneers and trailblazers in the executive recruitment space because you've spent your whole career in this space.
Okay, I don't know about trailblazer. um, well, yes, I've been really blessed and lucky to have fallen first and foremost into recruitment. And I say this right to my team or to anyone. I mean, you know, love the job you do and you never have to work a day in your life. And I found that out really early in my career. I think when you and I were talking back when I was in Dell in executive recruitment, it's been a great journey so far, and taking it into different levels at every stage. So just really blessed to be in something that I love to do. I mean, managing and acquiring talent and getting the right talent for the organization, and especially with the organizations that I worked with. Right, Dell, where it was high growth mode. I joined Dell at 12.5 billion. I left them at 60 billion. So you can imagine the amount of recruitment we did for Asia, at least. And then, of course, with the last 7 years with Schneider, building and growing the team, the offer of executive recruitment, our practices, and how we do it. And it's been phenomenal. If you look at the transformation and the growth of the company as it is today, right? So I think I've been really, truly lucky.
Yeah, so you're leading the global function of a very progressive company. I mean, I've always admired Schneider Electric, quite ahead of its time in terms of the locations around the world where people can be based and the somewhat decentralized structure that Schneider Electric has as well.
Yep. So you're talking about a multi-hub structure. So definitely, I mean, Schneider, we don't have a global HQ. Whilst it has originated out in Paris, we have global hubs in Paris, Boston, and Hong Kong. Right. So many of our executives all over the world sit within these hubs. And of course, beyond the hubs, we have satellites as well. So I'm privileged to be in Singapore, which is one of our satellites. And blew my mind, Matt, when I was called for the role. I actually did ask myself, how is this possible? I mean, I'm not based in Paris, or how is it possible that I don't speak French? And very quickly I was corrected, like, Joan, you are going to be representing us as a global company, right? And that is the most important thing. And the fact that I'm in Singapore, I think it's testimony of how global and how equally and the reason why we do that is because we can be close to the talent, close to the market, close to the business, uh, and have that diversified workforce. So as I say, right, it's testimony to putting your money where the mouth is, and Jean Pascal being based himself in Hong Kong.
So I'm going to ask you, as a multi-hub location, when it comes to time zones and global working, how does the company seamlessly manage that in a way that doesn't infringe on people's personal lives?
Okay, so a few things, right? And with this COVID situation that's propelled us into the digital world faster than anything. But one thing, I mean, we all operate virtually, and I wanted to bring this up because with this COVID situation, it was actually a very seamless thing for me, and as well as my team. I didn't feel like there was a big uh, change, because we always are enabled virtually anyway. Calls like this with you today, it's not very any different, right? From having global calls, town halls, virtual live cast with our CEO. And then on a more operational basis, we are very enabled digitally as a company, right? And I must give kudos, right, to the Schneider Digital organization, our IT organization, if they're hearing this, because we did not feel the effect of the pandemic means that backbone, right, the infrastructure, uh, has been already there up and running. Probably they have to do whatever it takes, right, to make sure that we don't run short, right, or bandwidth or whatever it takes or whatever it is, software and technology and all that. But it was there, and I didn't feel any lack of in terms of support, and we operated seamlessly. And for that, and in terms of being in Asia and in a global role, Matt, because this is really very real, and as we do our work day to day, um, you do have to kind of adapt with the work day. I mean, for myself at least, I have my early mornings and my evenings sometimes taken up, but I know that I take my lunch time to take a break, to do an go out for lunch or to meet up with friends, and you manage. It's work-life integration here. Today we have actually rolled out the global flexibility at work, and this is alongside with the COVID situation. So instead of running our usual employee engagement survey, in fact our CHRO ran instead a COVID survey, because to understand and to learn or to hear what our employees are thinking. How do you feel, right? How do you feel managing your work at home, or how do you feel coming back if we need you to come back? And hearing the needs and expectations of our workforce, we've launched our global flexibility at work. And so today, globally, you are able to work from home 2 days a week, of course. And of course, if you are not at the manufacturing site, no, those are exceptions. But beyond that, I mean, that's a global kind of initiative. All the rest of the other initiatives have been local and locally driven as well, right? So, I mean, I'm kind of blending what we are doing also with, as a result of the COVID situation. A lot of the how we operate, it's as Jean Pascal always says, we're the most local of global companies. We take our global initiatives, but we need to apply it. And the COVID example was the most, I suppose, tangible example where you need to operate and you need to manage locally, because we have to abide with the local jurisdiction and our laws and whatever practices we face country by country. And that's being led locally. But we've been actually managing this super well, super well.
Was really impressive, and I think that mix between local thinking and globalized strategy is a beautiful blend. Joan, how have you found the candidate experience has had to change through these times?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been able, at least during the lockdown periods, we couldn't meet anybody face to face, right? But then again, with the tools that we have, every meeting was virtual, and we had to take through the talent acquisition process virtually, of course. So a lot more hand holding, a lot more. I think you also need to be very cognizant of this fact that this individual that you're going to be bringing into the organization is going to come in without meeting anyone physically, right? So a lot more time and energy has been put in to make sure that the candidate experience stays on top of, first and foremost, right, on our minds. So I give an example, right? I recruited a candidate based out in San Francisco, right? I talked to her so often throughout the whole process, more than I would have done, right? If she had been able to, say, fly over to Boston and have these meetings, and also ensured that not just me, but the whole team, right? The whole HR business partner, the hiring manager, the different the panel and all that, a lot of engagement in and the vested interest in that process also, they became even more engaged with the candidate as well. Multiple calls, making sure that the onboarding and the virtual onboarding is seamless. And recently I spoke with her and she said, wow, fantastic. I cannot believe it that, I had onboarded and catch her. And she was not the only one. We had to do many of these cases virtually, and the experience so far has been quite positive. We had to really take extra effort and extra care to make sure that systems, tools, um, the standard like laptops and all that get delivered, and that had to just extra care to go into it.
So, the final question, which I've got for you, and you can ask me anything you want at the end as well, is I really feel as though this is an interesting time where top talents around the world have great choice because
Mm.
never before has there potentially been so much competition around great minds, and people who, for whatever reason, are feeling like they're not the right manager, or they're not in the right company, or they're not in the right work situation, they can vote with their feet. How are you picking up on this in the talent acquisition function?
Meaning the competition for talent, Matt?
Yeah, and just embracing the opportunity that that brings as an organization around pipelining.
Mm. Um, you know, the this period has given us a lot more. Um, it has given us some time actually to continue to stay engaged with the talent market, right? So myself, my teams, the talent acquisition teams, we've been doing a lot of a strategic pipelining, and I think that is an important piece in talent acquisition. It's not just recruiting because there are recs or requisitions or when there's a role, right? It's really getting to know the market, getting to know the candidate. And it's not uncommon for myself, my team to pick up the phone, speak with an individual with or without a role, because it's about that person, finding out about that person, and getting to know the individual way before any role would surface. Why? Because it's an interesting profile. It's something different. This person represents something that we want to bring in. Might not be today, but it could be tomorrow, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months later, right? So this form of practice, I think it's the new norm in talent acquisition. You don't recruit rack by rack, role by role. When someone resigns, you really got to get out there, get to know the market, get to know the talent pools, create talent pools, create opportunities where you can allow. It's both ways, right? You're actually allowing these individuals or candidates to get to know Schneider, and and you getting to know them at the same time. So so to me, I mean, it is not something that is just now. It has been done and progress, but I think all the more important now, especially as you say, we are competing for the best. And if you're talking about best, I mean, everyone wants the data analytics person, everyone wants the digital or diverse workforce, everyone wants. I mean, it's the same few, right, that get called. So why should they pick you? You must have a compelling story to be able to match their story and what they want for their career, right? And a career discussion is not just a one-off interview. It's a relationship that has to be built over time.
Thanks, Joan. It's lovely to see you. I hope I didn't put you on the spot too much there. You did
No.
well.
Thank you for the time. I think it's always great catching up with you, Matt.
Thank you, Joan. I just really like to create these discussions so people can learn. I think we've had a really busy year of a lot of HR people around the world being internally focused, and it's just good to look at other styles around the world, conversations, and learn from them. So, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.